know, the best if you could get 80s is if you had Downtown Julie Brown
You know, Downtown Julie Brown.
as the host, right? She's like, "Hello, everybody. Wubba wubba. It's Downtown
Wasn't
Julie
she
Brown here."
90s though? Check your trivia, because I think Martha Quinn
Oh,
and those guys were 80s, and I think Downtown Julie Brown was early 90s. Just saying.
yeah, you might regret it. I might have to go back. Well, guys, we're jamming here. I don't know what you guys are doing, but we're jamming 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s trivia. And the trivia that we really want to answer today is any trivia that you guys might have. Any questions that you guys have, that's what we're here to answer today. And the cool part is I'm excited. I'm excited for each and every one of you that are watching this video. Because if you're watching this video, you've made it to the end of the jam sessions. And if you're watching live, that means there's something really special because you've probably, you were part of the original jam session group, and you're here to provide questions, right? You're going to be able to provide some questions right now for the people that are watching, because there's going to be people right now that are watching this, and you're watching the recording. And so the people in this live session, you're going to see some questions coming up. And I want to encourage you, if you are watching the recording of this, to go ahead and put your questions in the jam session group so that we can get that question answered. So for those that are here live, I want to make a couple announcements. I'm going to turn on a light really quick. All right. Going to get some light up on my shiny baldness. For those of you that are here and have some questions, we're going to get to that. I'm going to open up the Q&A as well. We're going to let Diane chime in and say hello to everyone as well. Oh, thank you, thank you. I think that was from last time. And I want to make a few announcements. So as you're going through the jam sessions, if you're here live, you may be wondering, hey, is there going to be a few more sessions? Absolutely yes. I spaced out the jam sessions for you guys because I noticed that people were starting to really dive in and get some traction on getting leads, right? So we wanted to just focus on everyone getting leads so that you could start doing it on a regular basis and get that momentum building, right? And then we started kind of flowing into the communication portion, and we're going to continue that. We're going to continue those over the next few days, and today and tomorrow, and just into the beginning of February. You'll actually see a few more jam sessions go into the back office or to the file section, and then they'll be completed, and you guys will have access to it. There's one jam session that I'm going to reshoot because when I did the screen share, I didn't have anyone with me. So you guys didn't see anything, right? You can hear me, but you couldn't see what I was doing. So that one will get replaced, and then you'll have the jam sessions for yourself to reference back to. But the really exciting part is you're going to be able to have this to provide as a resource for the new members that you have coming on board. They're going to be able to jump right in. You're going to tell them exactly what to do. Hey, go to the file section, grab the document. It goes right in order, and just start at jam session 1 and work your way through, right? And the great part is this. You're already in the group, so when they have a question, they can just go right in the group and tag you. They can say, hey, Tanya, what about this question? Or, hey, Chris, I have a question about this. Or, hey, Dabney, you know, I have a quick question because you're working with them and you're their referring member and you introduce them to the jam sessions. They're going to be able to come right to you as that resource, right? And the cool part is Diane and I are both in the group. We're going to see all that conversation. So if there's any questions that are, you know, ambiguous, or maybe there's multiple answers or anything, we're going to be right there to back you up. We're going to be right there with you to help you out so that you can grow and you can start to develop your team. And some of you, I know, you already have teams and you already have those skills. And for those of you that have that, we're just here to run next to you, right? We're just here to like high five you as you're going along. So I want to say I think that's all the announcements we have. So good afternoon, Diane. Welcome.
Well, hello, Bert Bledsoe. I love what you just said because it's really important that you all understand this is a growth environment. We're not here to be the oracle with all the answers, especially as you bring your team members in. We're here to just back you up. We want you to be the leader, you to have the growth, and you to be seen in the eyes of your folks as their leader. So, and that's not true in a lot of environments. So I think it's really cool that that here we're really, really, really invested. Oh, it's somebody calling, probably wanting to give me money. I believe that. I think every phone call is somebody wanting to give me money, dementia. But it's a very cool vibe. It's a leadership development vibe that we have going on at the jam session. So how is everybody? Everybody good? Did anybody give us questions yet, Bert?
Yeah, there is one question, and everyone that's here, if you're attending, I opened up the Q&A, so just go ahead and type your question in over there. If we don't understand it or something, we'll just let you know, or we'll just pop you over, and we'll have you. So can we just send them over? These are our MLSP members. Yes, that's correct, Dabney. If they're your MLSP members, then you just add them to the group. Now, but Diane and I are the administrators on the group, so if you work with Diane, and it doesn't matter. You could ask Diane, you could ask me.
Just put them in the group. Hey.
Yeah, just put them in the group, add them to the group, and then just make an announcement. Like if you go in and make an announcement to the group and say, hey, welcome, John or Sally or Cindy, then we're gonna know, right? And you can just shoot me a message if you're gonna put 5 people in or 3 people or however many people you're gonna put in the group that you referred into MLSP, just shoot a private message over real quick to me and let me know, hey, I'm dropping Cindy Jones in, and that way when we see it, we'll make sure to approve her, right? And that way we'll make sure that everyone gets in. So absolutely, that's it. You just send them over, and boom, they can plug right into the jam session videos. And what I would recommend to everyone is absolutely, if you have the opportunity, once they're added into the group, to tag that new member into the group and introduce them and welcome them to the group. That lets everyone else, all of us, know that, hey, there's someone new in here, and if they have any, then if we see questions popping up, that we can be of assistance to them. So absolutely. Let me go back over to the chat.
Let me give everybody a tip. What I really recommend you guys do is, if you're newer at building a team, you definitely want to use the jam sessions group as your group while you're building up, and I would use it until you have at least 10, if not more, members, and that's when you spin off, and then you can start something of your own if you care to. But the reason why you want to bring your people here is people want to be a part of something. People want to join a group, and they want to feel like they made the right decision. So if you don't have your own group yet, utilize this group. Does that make sense to you guys? Because everybody wants to feel like they're part of something. I mean, remember when we first started jam sessions and Bert and I brought our groups together, it felt good. It feels good to be a part of something. It feels good to be part of a family. It feels good to know that you have support and backup. So that's what we're letting you use this so that you can provide that for your folks until you can provide it on your own, which will be very soon if you keep following the jam sessions. Hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. And it's such a refreshing resource to have. It really, if you're just starting to get your momentum and you're just starting to jam, this is one of the things that really helped me out, was having a place to go to, where I didn't have a group yet, right? So I had a place where there was another group where I could bring everyone and say, hey, come on guys, let's all hang out over here. So guys, questions and answer on jam sessions. This can be today. You can have questions on anything of jam sessions. So it can be all the way from, maybe you just you're here today and you're like, hey, I just started like 3 days ago. I'm just on jam session number 2 or jam session number 3. That's okay. You can ask a question about jam session number 3. You can ask a question on session number 9. It could be on communication, headline. It could be on a setup question. So what we want to do here today is just make sure, right, that everyone that's participating live has this live opportunity to get their questions answered, right? So that we made it so that we could set some time aside to make it interactive like this for you. So let's see. I know there's a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, give him a sec. In the meantime, I just want to give a shout out, and I know there's more people, and Bert, you can add more, but I know Linda Bomba's been crushing it with leads. Dustin Slade's been crushing it with leads. Elizabeth's been crushing it with leads. Anyone else that's on the radar doing cool stuff that I'm not aware of?
Chris Schaus.
Chris Schaus
was getting in there. Who else?
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah, there is a bunch of people
really
there.
Pretty easy to do, and that's what I want you guys to wrap your head around. It's really pretty easy to do if you'll just focus in and practice a little bit. And don't worry, the first couple of people when you're trying to have these conversations and stuff, it's a little awkward. It's always a little awkward, but once you get your jam on, you become very attractive. People become very comfortable. The big thing is to remember that you're here to help them. You're not here to sell them, you're here to help them. The sale naturally comes as the trust builds. They just naturally see what you're doing and ask, hey, I'd like to buy that from you, or they click on your link, and so on and so forth. So your job is not to sell anyone anything.
And that was a great point that Diane just made, and if that might be a frequent question, and let me address it just a little bit more and give an example, because I know there's some people out there that maybe you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to ask that question in public. And I had actually one of the jam session members messaged me and said, hey, it was their first time that they went out and tried this way of generating leads. And it took them a while. They were talking to quite a few people before they were able to get the result that they wanted. And it was simply, this is what the answer was. It was simply looking at, having a conversation with them and saying, hey, what are you saying? And then seeing what they're saying and then saying, okay, well, what if we just reposition what you're saying? What if we, instead of saying this, like in this way, what if we just change up the wording a little bit, right? What if we just ask the question in a different way? And a lot of times it's just that little simple, that 1 degree shift, or that, those 1 or 2 different questions that you ask that gets you the response that you want. So if you're not getting it right away, don't worry. Guess what? None of us did.
No.
Right? Yeah. This is like, you remember that first time. This is like when you were like a teenager, and you remember that like first time, maybe it was in middle school or junior high, and there was that boy maybe that you wanted him to ask you to dance, or maybe, like me, you're that boy and you wanted to ask that girl to dance, and like, you remember like how you're like, you got like, your hands got kind of like sweaty, and maybe you even got like under your arms, and you were, maybe if you're like me, you're bald, you were getting like a little like.
Bald in middle school. I've seen photos.
Oh, no,
you were not bald in middle school.
I forgot. I wasn't bald in middle school. But maybe you got a little perspiration, right? Maybe you got a little like bead of sweat on your forehead, and you got that kind of like that like fluttery feeling in your tummy because you were kind of nervous, and then you went to go talk and you were like, right? Remember when that happened, right? You're like, do you want to dance, right? Like everything didn't come out right, and it's the same thing, right? This is just imagine now as an adult, this is the great part. You know that that's part of it, right? You know that there's going to be a little bit of awkwardness, and there might be a little bit of uncomfortability for you, but that's okay. It's okay because you know it's coming. Now, if you've been in sales, or maybe you worked in customer service, or you've been a cashier, or you did pizza delivery or something like that, and you're used to talking to people, it's going to come easier, right? Because you're used to doing it. It's just a different format. So if you're not used to doing this, don't worry. It's going to become easier for you as you go, as you practice. And the great part about it becoming easier is it becomes a lot faster, right? I used to think when I first started this, let me share this with you guys. When I first started this, I learned this from Diane, this idea of going out and just getting people directly to my newsletter. And I would hear how she would say, yeah, I just ask people right away, are you on my newsletter? And I was like, wow, she's like really like bold with it. Like she doesn't like, there's no like, she doesn't even like hem-haw with people, right? She doesn't even like kind of like chit-chat it. And so, I'm going through, and as I've learned this process, it's changed. Guys, what used to take me like conversation, the other day someone friended me and they were like, hey Bert, thanks for the friendship or something. Literally, I didn't even, all I said was, yeah, like, or nice to connect, and then comma, are you getting my newsletter too? That's it. Like, no even response after that. No, I'm not. How do I get that? Right? And guys, and that's, and guess what? The funny part is when I started this, I wasn't that bold. I would be like, so how is Cleveland? How is the basketball game?
How's the weather out there?
Yeah. Well, how's the wife and kids? They're like, oh, that guy's single. Whoops, wrong conversation. Right? Whoops. Right? That happens. All those things happen. But over time, what happens it's like when you go to the gym and you build the muscle, right? It's just like when you were in middle school, it was kind of weird to go ask that girl to dance, right? But by the time it was your senior year in high school, you knew what girl you wanted to ask to prom. You knew you were just going to go and ask her, right? And probably when you were a senior or let's think later in life, right? When you were out, you knew which people that you wanted to go and talk to. And so by then you had developed those social skills to be able to do that, right?
Number two, I think as she got older, you realize, I'm just asking this girl if she wants to have a cup of coffee or she wants to dance. I'm not asking her to get married. I'm not asking her to make babies with me, and that's it. It's like, hey, can I help you out? It's not asking anyone to buy anything from you. You're not asking them to join your deal. You're not asking them for anything. It's more just can I help you out? And first that starts, and a lot of people, I think they get nervous because it starts with their not being sure that they can help someone. But I want to remind you that you are backed not only by Bert and myself, but the longest standing, most incredible lead generation and marketing training system in the industry. So it's not just whether or not you can help them, it's whether or not you have an avenue. And even if you're not signing them up in MLSP, you have, every Wednesday night you can learn something incredible, turn around and share it with your list on Thursday, and you're helping them. So you really need to know that there's not a person out there that you can't help. And that's all Bert and I ever just did, is we went and learned something and then we went and taught it. We learned something, we taught it. So mailing out to your list or inviting to a webinar or whatever. And if I didn't know how to teach it, I just invited people to come hear the teacher that could teach it. And I made a fortune for 6 years. All I ever did was invite people to come hear someone else. Get on my newsletter. I'm going to invite you to cool trainings and different things that will help you. And then I invited them to hear someone else. I never did it. I didn't start doing that kind of training until 2005, at the very tail end, so 2006. I was in business from 1999, and I was making a full-time living. So think about that. It's kind of cool. You don't have to even be the one. The marketplace is telling everybody right now that they have to be a guru. They have to know everything. How can you know everything in your first 6 months, year, 2 years? I didn't. I don't know. Bert, do you know everything yet?
No.
Not that much, right?
Not that much. I barely figured out like 3 or 4 things, maybe, if that. Right? Like I figured out 3 things.
And winning computers and going on trips and stuff. So what if he figures out 6 things? Forget about it, right? Forget about it.
Forget about it. That's the fun part. It's just like anything else. Like just let's get real for a second for everyone. It's just like anything else in life. It's time and repetition. Right? That's it. Like, how do you build a skill? How do you get stronger? You lift a weight, and every day you lift it, and you lift it more times, or you lift heavier weights, right? It's the same thing. It's practice. It's time and repetition. So Amy says she's dancing around in the chats, and she can't get to the point or figure out. Okay, this is a key. This is very key what you're saying right here, okay, Amy. So, and I just want to show you something that's really cool. Okay, you can't seem to get to the point or figure out how to get them to actually sign up to my newsletter. When I do, it ends in the chat most of the time. Okay, that's so key, Amy, what you said, and this is why. What you said was like one of the biggest probably like hurdles that we all see, and it's not like a regular hurdle like on a track and field hurdle. It's like one of those walls on like the military obstacle course that you need like 2 or 3 people to get over, because you put in yourself, when in the sentence you said, you can't seem to get to the point or figure out. There's nothing to figure out. You don't have to figure it out. That's what happens, is we get stuck up here and you're trying to figure out how to get them to sign up, and then it gets all kooky because you're trying to figure something out in the conversation. Mentally go back into the beginning of the conversation and literally just start it off, with a greeting, but then the whole point of the conversation is to obtain their email. So when you go into the conversation, it's just more authoritative, right? So Amy, you just step into that like leadership role a little bit, because think about it like this, like what Diane said. It's not like you're asking them to like sign up for your $50,000 like crowdsourcing thing, right? Like all you're simply doing is offering them assistance in helping them build their business in marketing. So it's something as simple like, hey, I do a great newsletter that I think could help you out in that area. I'd love to get that over to you. That's it. Like that. Check this out. That is not even a question or a, like, it's so ambiguous that they can't even reject me. They don't even know what to, straight up, they don't even know what to say other than, oh my gosh, thank you, that's awesome. Because check this out. You're probably the first person all day on Facebook, besides their mom or their sister or their brother, that hasn't shot them their link right away. So they're like so
Guys,
amazed.
Hear that. You will be the only person that's offering them some help as opposed to offering them a link to buy their stuff. You will be, now we're causing a trend, so there might be 12 of us that know this, right? But I have scored dramatically because I was always the only person offering, here's my list, here's some help, as opposed to here's my stuff, please buy it. It's magic. Magic. I cannot tell you enough what Bert just said, how accurate and true and dead on it is. And I'm going to have to run off in a few minutes, Bert, because we're heading out. Okay. But you guys, Bert told you before, your success lies in practice, and then feel free, if you do a conversation and you didn't get where you wanted to go, you can screenshot it, put it in the group, and Bert and I will tell you how to reword it or say it differently so that you're going to get the result that you want. You have to ask those questions so that we can tell you. It's like if you were a ballerina. The teacher's going to come and you're standing or whatever, and the teacher's going to move your body and make you stand properly. Or if you're practicing your golf swing like Tom DeMeo, if you hire a golf pro, he's going to come and he's going to literally move the club with you to get you to move it correctly so that you get the shot. So as a person who's building a list, you have to show us what you're doing so that we can reposition you, because that's all we're doing. We're just tilting you. Because you're there, right? You're there, you got the club, you got the ball, you're standing there, and all we have to do is reposition you, and when we do, the ball goes further. When we reposition your words, you're going to get the lead that you want. But you have to let us help you do that, because otherwise you're kind of sitting by yourself. So I encourage you guys to do that. Now, obviously, if there's a nasty conversation or exchange or something, don't put that up, or something weird. Get with us or whatever. But the general conversations, it's great for you to share them and let us see where you're struggling. If you want to black out the names of the people, that's fine if there's anything weird in there. But generally speaking, it's just, there's nothing weird. It's just that you didn't position properly. That's all.
That's it. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Tanya is saying that feels like one of her blocks is like you're new and you can't really help them. Guess what, Tanya? That's okay. We're all, check this out. This is the fun. We talked about this on a webinar last night. I'm going to tell you guys, because some of you guys and gals weren't there. Let me explain this in the best way. Okay, everyone. Okay, imagine this, and we've all said it. So let's just be real. In your head, at some point, you've all said, well, that's easy for Diane, or yeah, Diane can make up content like that, or she could help people because she's Diane, okay? And you're saying like she's Diane, right? So she's up here and she can do all this, and I'm new, okay? And then now people are like, oh, well, look, you could do this because you're Bert, so you could help people, right? But guess what? I used to not be Bert. I mean, I was always me, right? Diane wasn't always Diane Hockman. If you go back in time 15 years and look up Diane Hockman on the internet, if you could do, and you actually can do this, you could go do the snapshot thing, but anyways, right? If you went back 15 years and looked up who's Diane Hockman on the internet, you wouldn't know, because Diane was brand new. She was just starting her whole business, right? So there was a time when Diane was new too. This is what she mentioned. What's powerful about what we're doing here in the jam sessions and what you have available to you is that you don't have to know everything. You don't have to be the guy. You don't have to be the gal, Tanya. You can say, hey, you know what? I've learned this and this and this, and to get more of that, go over here. Hey, guess what? You don't have to know all the answers because you can point them to the jam sessions. You don't have to know all the answers because you can send them to the Wednesday night webinar, right? You don't have to know every single answer to every single question, right? Just because you're new doesn't mean that you can't point people to the resources.
Tanya, I'm going to do tough love. Bert's doing super daddy love. I'm going to do tough mama love. You're not new, honey. You and I both know you're not new anymore. You were new a long time ago. And you have to assume that responsibility, okay? Guys, most of you are not new. A couple of you guys are brand new, but most of you, and Tanya included, you're not new, okay? Go look at how long you've been here. And I've known you for quite a while. So when today you start to realize there's people that need my help and stop thinking I need somebody else's help, that's when it's going to make a difference. I know that sounds, I don't know, like I'm a little tough on you, but that's the message that you need today. That's the message that you need. You're no longer new. Guys, you get to be new for about a month. After that, you're not new anymore. You got a question?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the first part of the question. There's like 3 different parts.
I'm sorry.
Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, Dabney, you're not doing anything wrong. You need to get them onto your email list. Whether you do it on a site or whether you do it manually doesn't matter. And then you're to write letters, and in those letters, you're either inviting them to different events or telling them about products and services that you like, or training them or teaching them something simple, or sharing with them your latest piece of content that you've created. So I don't think you're doing anything wrong. So maybe refine your question a little bit, but guys, the answer and the secret is, like, for example, over the last 2 days, I've signed up 15 mastery members. And I did it without calling a single soul or picking up the phone. The reason why I'm able to do that, by the way, that's $1,500 residual income, so on and so forth. The reason why I'm able to do that is simply because I've built this list. And I'm able to write a letter to the list and invite people to come to hear or see something. In this particular case, I invited people to come to hear me say a few words, but you guys could invite somebody to come hear someone else say a few words, or invite them to a webinar, or invite them to a training, or invite them to watch a video. But I'm able to write one letter and sign up tons of people. That's what we're going for. And the cool part is you don't have to be fancy or write in any particular fancy way. It's really easy to say to someone, hey, there's a great training going on tonight. Here's the link. So if Dabney refines that, but I'm going to have to go, Bert, because I know that those guys are going to be back in a minute. I love you guys. You guys are all awesome. Like Bert said, there's a couple more sessions coming down the line, and we're not going anywhere, even though January is over. We had some January jam. I think that there might be some other J months in the year, so you never know. There might be some other jammy sessions. There's so much more, and you guys are the ones that dictate what we do. So guys, take a hold of, I'll say this to his face. Guys, Bert is he's not just a rising star. He's just a star that's shooting across the sky. And if there was ever a time to really latch on to the newest top leader, it's now. I know some of you guys work directly with me, some of you guys work directly with Bert, but as far as I'm concerned, Bert and I are family, so you work with us. And if there was ever a time to, really catch on and pay attention to someone, it's now. Because it's in the moment that they're exploding that they're the most accessible. I dare say a year from now, it's going to be a lot harder to access Bert, and you certainly won't be able to get access to him like this. So guys, use it, use it, use it. I did that. I found windows of opportunity with the right people, and I ran with them during those periods. And this is one of them. And how do I know? I've been doing this for 15 years. I've seen it before. This is one of those periods. So pinch yourself, get excited that you're here, and utilize this man. Utilize him before he's too busy. And he'll never be too busy for you, so don't misinterpret that. But as volume happens, as people come, there's just not as much intimate time. It's just not possible. It's just like a mom or a dad. When there's one kid and 2 kids, it's one thing. When there's 6 kids, it's a whole different game. So dig into this guy and dig into the jam sessions and make sure you get yourself on task. And the biggest thing I can give you guys is watch your words. Watch your words. Whatever you're reciting to yourself, if those of you that are studying with me, you know what comes out of your mouth comes out of your mouth and it goes right back in your ears. So words like I messed up, I'm confused, I'm new, I'm overwhelmed, all of those words are convincing you to stay still. Change the words to I'm in action, I'm excited, I'm jacked up, I need some refinement. See, it's okay to say I need refinement, I need some tips, I need some moves. Bert will call me or I'll call Bert, like, give me the move, okay? That's cool. Not I'm confused, I screwed up. It's, you know what, I'm stuck, give me a move. That's a whole different word pattern, and it changes where you go. So, see you guys later. Have a good one.
Alrighty. Guys and gals, I'm going to leave the Q&A open just for another minute. I know there's a little bit of a delay, and let you guys, if you want to, if you guys want to do that, you can put any more questions in. The other thing is, for those of you that got something out of the jam sessions, if you want to send me a private message with maybe just like a 1 or 2 sentence quote on how the jam sessions helped you, like a quick testimonial or something, I would love to use that. So if you want to do that, you can just shoot me a quick personal message or something, like a little quote, and I'll grab it, right? Because I've got a couple of good ones in the group over time, but if you guys send it to me in a personal message, I can just make a file for it. That would be super, super awesome, and that would be really super appreciated. So anyone that has any other questions, if it had on any of the sessions that we did in any of the units, if there's any questions from anyone, now is the time to let me know. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, definitely let me know, because otherwise, if we don't have any more questions, then we'll make this jam session a wrap on the live Q&A, and we will call it a wrap if that's it. Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Dustin. Congratulations. Congrats, Elizabeth. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, so I am guessing that that's it. Oh, there's something. Will 5 and 10 be put up soon? Yeah, 5 and 10 are just, yeah, they both will. Phoenicia, 5 and 10 will both go up. And also I think it's like 3 or 4 that has like the screen, or maybe it's like 8 that has the screen outs will be up. And then there's more to follow these sessions. So yes, they will. Those ones are really just auxiliary. They're quick modules that are just like overview modules that show you addendums and extra stuff that you can do. They're like literally like different platforms and different routes that you can use these same methods on. So awesome. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Chris and Tanya. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Angel and Chris and Dustin. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate your participation. Excited to see as you keep on moving forward, really, and just keep on taking the required steps to move forward. Just keep moving forward. Boom, 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 and ask questions. So I guess that's it. No other questions have come in. So thank you all for being wonderful participants in the live jam sessions. If you're watching the recordings of the jam sessions, remember, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the jam sessions group, and whoever your referring member into My Lead System Pro is a member of the jam session. So go ahead and tag them on your question if you'd like, so that then they can come in and respond and help you out with that question. Thank you all for being here at the jam sessions, and I'll see you guys next time on another jam session. Bye for now.